So I want you guys that are producers on this call, what I'm seeing happen right now is in our world, we're like superstars. We finish out the month for a few minutes, and then we start at zero again. Yeah. And then we feel like, I mean, like, you guys really need to pause and congratulate yourself and everybody, and just take a few minutes and say, hey, I kicked butt. I'm totally awesome. My team rocked it out. And then spend a few minutes letting everybody know how grateful you are for them, because it is super hard. Like, we start at zero on the next day after we get like less than 12 hours to even celebrate a good month. So please take a few minutes, pat yourself on the back, and remind yourself how awesome you are. But I also wanted to remind you too, you know, I really, this weekend, I'm going to spend some time just being really grateful for all of the special people that make it happen behind the scenes. So there's a couple of people that I know that you guys are thinking of that you might want to just spend a few minutes and type up a nice little email or a text message or write up a card. But you guys, our escrow officers and their escrow teams are beat up at the end of the month. And I don't know how many times Richard is a really grateful person. I'm sure he goes and brightens up their day and tells them how awesome they are. But just remember those escrow officers and the title company teams. Y'all, I don't know about y'all, but we had to ask for some rushes from our MI companies to get some of these loans done. We've had to, I mean, there's so many people behind the scenes. I have not ever taken the time to say thank you to Mike Patterson and his team for all of the docs, you know, the prepping that they do, because they've got to do stuff super fast. Of course, our appraisers and our surveys deserve a thank you. Our inspectors that are outside in 100-degree weather and in and out of these attics, if you have some inspector relationships, they're all super busy. So really spend some time this weekend and really make a list of people that you really probably ought to send a nice little thank you to, because we obviously don't do what we do without so many people behind the scenes. Of course, your underwriting and closing, you guys thank them however you see fit. I wanted to send someone in to do chair massages, and I was going to call the managers and say, hey, let's split these costs. But heck, who can you even have in these in the buildings right now for chairs massages? You know, that's just so.
So Michelle, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
I was going to tell you something funny. This is what I've done each month. I give like a little bonus here for the employees. I have a few of them here, and I do something silly with them each time.
Imagine that.
Yesterday I did one, and they were cracking up at it. I baked cookies, and I put money all inside the cookies. And
what?
So, yeah. So
real money?
Real money. So when they end up taking a bite out of it, they looked and they said, "What is this?" And it had money in there. The month before, I made I put the money inside of anyway, it's kind of a hard description, but it looked like a snow cone or something like that. But anyway, I froze the money inside. So it was in the freezer. So I handed them all. So then they had to wait for it to melt, and they were doing that. So I did that. And then I put clues in the month before. I put money inside of balloons, and with helium balloons, and I put it in their office. So they were all up the ceiling. So when they walked in, they were looking for stuff on their desk because I told them it was in their office. So then they had to climb on their desk to reach the balloons off the ceiling and pop it.
I cannot figure out how to make this quiet.
So that is like golden. That is something they will talk about and remember for the rest of their life and tell everybody. Like, everybody's going to want to work for Richard, because you never know what you're going to see get.
They're a little surprised. They don't know what to expect.
They would be talking about, hey, Richard, remember when I climbed on my desk to get that balloon and fell down and broke my leg? Yeah, that was really funny for $5.
They would probably laugh as they're crying.
Yeah, so, it was hilarious.
So I think, Richard, you're in charge of figuring out you're in charge of figuring out a fun way for us to thank all of our regional ops.
Headphones.
Yeah, you don't want these scavenger hunts I put them on to find stuff. No.
I don't know. Arthur's pretty much a jokester. I think he'd like it.
And I haven't seen Arthur in a long time. He grew a beard.
I know, isn't that great?
You know what's so cool? You know what's so cool about growing this beard longer is
What's that?
it's getting dark like my hair all on its own. I'm like,
All
wow,
on its own?
pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
funny.
I've been laughing. I haven't cut my hair in forever, so
Look,
I've been cutting my own hair.
you need,
Well,
it probably wouldn't hurt you, Richard, if you'd wash it. You know,
Oh, I'm gonna do that next.
pretty rough in the back.
Yeah.
you guys, I love this. I mean, COVID started all kind of new trends. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pajamas on the bottom, business on the top, all kind of fun stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so today I wanted to just high level go over Mortgage Coach, but more than anything, you know, Anna and I were talking, we've got so much technology that it becomes overwhelming at times. So I wanted to use these calls to really show how we use technology to just build that high trust. So Mortgage Coach for us is part of that, but let me just tell you my Mortgage Coach journey real quick, because you guys might relate. So we were at a conference, and I don't even remember what conference or summit we were at. Everybody was talking about how awesome Mortgage Coach was. And I'm sitting at the airport. I had a delayed flight. I'm all by myself. And I plug in, you know, I get on my phone and I'm like, I'm going to check Mortgage Coach out and see what everybody's raving about. And when you go in, when you Google Mortgage Coach, you get the YouTube videos. So I get all of these YouTube videos and people are talking about how amazing Mortgage Coach is and how it's changed their business and how it's made them become more of an advisor and not just a loan officer, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, I can do this. So I get my laptop out, find my hotspot, and I log in, set up an account, and try to set everything up. And I got so overwhelmed. I played with it and I played with it, and the templates weren't set up. And this is before Guild had integrated it into our systems. So I got super frustrated, but all of these rock stars were using it. So I'm like, I gotta figure this out. So I played with it a little bit more. I came home, I played with it, and I still could not figure out how to make it work easy and integrate it in my business. So I totally gave up. And then I go to another summit and everybody's talking about Mortgage Coach, Mortgage Coach, Mortgage Coach. And so then I committed and I'm like, okay, if they can do it, I can do it. I'm going to figure this out. By then, Guild had started integrating. And so what I just want to show you guys today, well, number one, tell you is that change is hard. New technology is hard. We're all super busy. It's very hard to find the time to learn it, which is why if you guys want us to, I'm going to show you high level how we use it and how it's changed my business. And then if you guys want to go next level, we'll show you exactly how to set up your Mortgage Coach and get it going, because I really truly believe this is one thing that we can do that sets us apart from other people. So in my opinion, no, I'm not sharing screen. Okay. In my opinion, we as Guild Nation can really set ourselves apart if we're all using the same tools and resources, so that whether or not someone is using me as a loan officer or you know, and I've got a partnership relationship, a high trust relationship, but they have a listing in another town and all of a sudden they see a pre-approval letter from another Guild loan officer and they think as highly of that pre-approval letter and they trust that loan officer just as much as they trust me, because we have the same processes, the same systems, and we wow everybody the same way. And I think that we can all do that, and it benefits all of us in Texas when we are all at that same level and using the same technology to really wow the agents and wow the partners. Mortgage Coach is one of those things that we use to do that. And how we use it is to advise our customers. To me, what is super important is when a customer calls and says, hey, I want to buy a house, I'm limited on how much money I have available, and they're only thinking a one-size-fits-all loan. I want to show them the possibility of other options and really like make that light bulb go off in their head and make them feel like I'm listening to them and I care about them more as a person in a family than I do just as a loan. And I can do that through listening to their story and putting together some scenarios that helps them expand their mind on what possibilities there are to put themselves in a better financial position. Does that make sense? So instead of the customer just calling and getting a loan, they're getting more than that. They're getting advice, they're getting consultation. And when you go that next level with them, then you're building a relationship of high trust. So if they pick up the phone and they call the other lender down the street, and the other lender is just giving them a one-size-fits-all email with an explanation of numbers, or the other lender is just giving them a fee sheet and just giving them what they're asking for, then I look like I'm here to really help them, where the other person is just there to give them a loan. And that's what Mortgage Coach has done for us. Has it been easy to learn? Yes, once we committed that we were going to do it, and we weren't going to quit until we mastered it. And that is the level of commitment you're going to have in order to get in there and make it happen. Now, when someone calls me, I can go into Mortgage Coach and put an estimate together like that. And I'm going to just show you how little information that you can put into the system to kick out these scenarios. I seriously, when I got here this morning, I'm like, I'm not real sure how I'm going to do this training today, because I wing it like that often in life. And in less than 15 minutes, I had a scenario put together in my head and had 4 different financing options to present to a customer. That's how fast you can be with this. Same thing with the refinances now. If someone calls for a refinance, I get the basic information. I've got an email template. We get the basic information. We find out what they think their credit score is. We back it down 20 to 30 points. And I run Sherlock. I go to Mortgage Coach, throw in some numbers, and send them a Mortgage Coach example and get their commitment before I go next level and spend any more time. So I am spending literally 20 minutes putting together refinance scenarios, whereas if I were to copy the loan, update everything, blah, 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 and then if they don't go through with it, we got to withdraw it out of the system, which is very time consuming too. So does anybody have any questions before I go forward? I'm going to share a screen and show y'all some. Okay, so this is just totally high level because, well, show of hands, and there's a lot of people on the call that I don't see their beautiful faces. But you guys tell me, even in the chat, how many of you guys are already using Mortgage Coach every single time you talk to a customer? Okay, all right, good. So what I was planning on doing will be perfect. So I highly encourage you guys to make the commitment that July is going to be your Mortgage Coach month, that at the end of this month, you're going to be loving it as much as I do. So it really is that much of a game changer for you. All right, I'm going to share screen. So I get to Mortgage Coach from the Salesforce screen because for some reason, it's just easier for me. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong whenever I, do it a different way, but I get to it from the Salesforce screen right here at the quick links. And if you guys want to kind of follow along, you're welcome to, but I've already pre-made this template, so you won't be able to actually follow. So then when I get to my Mortgage Coach screen, this is just the initial screen that you're going to. Now, I'm going to tell you, I am not an expert. I use Mortgage Coach to advise my agents. I can't tell you what all of these fields are, but you're welcome to ask me a question if you want to stop and ask. And if I don't know, we'll get some answers later. I personally, if I am just filling out a Mortgage Coach really quickly, I personally don't worry about filling in all of these blanks. Some of you guys maybe can't even imagine advancing to the next screen without filling out all of these blanks. More power to you. It is important that you do put the address, the email address in here so that you can send the link from the system. The property address does or does not have to be in here. The goals are amazing, and there's some really cool stuff that you can do if you go ahead and set this information in here, but for the sake of this scenario, I did not, because I want you guys to know and understand you don't have to do all of that. Now, if you are doing a mortgage coach for a refinance, it is so flippin' easy because you've got your transaction screen on one monitor, you've got mortgage coach on the other, you can fill in the information because we have that information available because we're servicing the loan. How lucky are we? If you were doing a refinance quote for somebody and they were not a Guild-to-Guild refinance, then you would ask for the mortgage statement so you can fill out this information. Because what's beautiful about this is that you really can do a side-by-side. Hardly ever, even if you're only saving someone $100 a month, when you do a refinance and mortgage coach and you show them how much they're saving over the life of the loan, they'll sign up every time. So if you're gonna use mortgage coach for refinances, plan on doing a lot more refinances because they will hardly ever say no, because it's going to just look, I mean, it's just so apparent that it makes sense, unless they plan on moving in the next 12 months. So I'm gonna skip straight to this scenario that I had put together. No, I'm not. I'm gonna go straight to the analysis so you can see what I put together, and then we'll break it down. So you can skip anywhere in here that you want to go at any time to get the details of the information, but I'm going straight over here. Well, first, I went into analysis in this area. If you guys really wanted to get technical, you can see what the appreciation, property appreciation is based on specific sales price in your area. I just leave that default at 4% because I think that that's probably a good general rule of thumb. I know that in some price ranges, our first-time home buyer price ranges, I think those houses are appreciating even faster. The short-term analysis is defaulted. I change it to 84 months because my thoughts are that people think that they're only going to be in the house for, 7 to 10 years. So I just want to go ahead and make these numbers relatable to them. And then in this case, I'm doing this on 30 years, so I'm going to do it as a 30-year analysis. Of course, the shorter the term, the less the savings, because of course, interest paid over time. But you guys can change this however you wish for it to look. And then the monthly savings benchmark, I'm going to do that just based on a regular 30-year with monthly MI. And then I'm going to do it that way too, all the way through. Okay. Then whenever you go to presentation, I want to show you what I put together, and I'm going to show you how I put it together and why. So I just got to click through these screens here so you can actually see the preview. And then we'll go through this. So I put together 4 different scenarios. So here was the scenario, and this is what I'm talking to people about right now. Interest rates are so freaking low, we all know. So this is an opportunity when someone is calling and saying, hey, I want to buy a house. I'm planning on putting, I've got $25,000 or $30,000 to work with. Let's say $30,000 to work with. So I'm thinking conventional 10% down, right? Well, I wanted them to look at more than just their standard 5% with monthly MI. That is not just the only scenario I want to look at. I also want them to be thinking bigger. You're buying a house. You're selling your house. This is an opportunity. You're fixing to get some money in your hands that you don't normally have available to you. What debts do you have that maybe need to be paid off that you're paying a higher interest rate on than you would on my mortgage loan? Like, this is your one chance, since you've got money in your pocket, to get some of your credit cards paid off. Or this is your one chance to get some of those other debts that you need to get taken care of. So maybe we need to look at putting less money down on the house, and you take care of some of those bills that really need to be paid off. Does that make sense? So it really gets people to start thinking. Now, if you had this conversation with someone and you're showing them these scenarios that I put together, so $200,000 sales price, I've got one scenario with a 30-year with monthly MI. I've got another scenario with upfront MI. And then let's just say that we did convince them that they need to go ahead and just put 5% down and take care of those credit cards. Here's a 5% down with monthly MI, or here's a 5% down with upfront MI. If you guys were doing all 4 of these scenarios in my key, how long would that take you?
I wouldn't do it.
Patrick, how long would that take you to do 4 scenarios in my key?
It would take me forever because I wouldn't do it.
Well,
yeah.
so exactly. I did this, you guys, in 15 to 20 minutes. I put these scenarios together.
Yeah.
So when you get these put together, and let me show you how I put those together. And then, so you guys get the why. Let me go back to this. And then you actually get to start talking to them about, let me unhighlight that. Okay, you got a $200,000 house, 3.25% interest rate. I did that with 1 discount point. Here's another. I promise you, your subsidies will go down when you use Mortgage Coach, because you are no longer talking about interest rates. You're talking about dreams, goals, budget. How much do you have out of pocket? What do you want your monthly payment to be? When you put together scenarios and you get to tell them, hey, guess what? I can get you what you need out of pocket, but this is what the payment would be. Or I can get you what you want your payment to be, but this is what you need out of pocket. Which of these 2 do you prefer? Or someone calls you and says, hey, I can get a 3% interest rate at blah, blah, blah. Fantastic, so can I. I'll put those scenarios together and send them to you. And you send them a Mortgage Coach, and you put in there your dream rate, 3%, put in however many discount points in that screen that you need to get to their dream rate, and what the monthly payment would be. And then you show them what the payment is on with the money they have available. And then all of a sudden, you know what? It's not worth that $50 difference. You're no longer talking interest rates. You're no longer talking discount points. You're talking about dreams, goals, and budget, which are the things that really matter. So whenever you are able to put that together for them and highlight this information, it totally becomes a game changer. Y'all, I put this together again in 15 to 20 minutes. This particular scenario, you get to type in the product name however you want it to be. You can put in here your Quicken Quote, get them to send you the Quicken Quote, and you have a Quicken Quote that you get to compare with your quote, and we'll title it Quicken Quote. And we will put the numbers together based on what Quicken presented, and then do another scenario with our numbers, and it becomes so black and white. In this case, orange or blue. But you put that whole scenario together right there. You go to this screen. You've got your closing cost details that are already set up as a template. Once you get those set up, it's done for you. And then I've got my 1 discount point. We're gonna just do 15 days of per diem. And then I put my hazard in here, my insurance, my taxes. And then I went to Genworth and just did my comparisons on my MI. So I have MI here and my escrows. Then for the next product, I can copy from the product I just put together, make a couple of tweaks and changes. In this case, I just clicked the box that we were going to collect upfront premium. And then right here, I put in my premium, insurance, and all of closing costs. All that stayed exactly the same. And I'm going to do another scenario. So I was able to just click another box, copy another product, change the down payment, bam, done. That's how simple it is to really change your business from becoming a loan officer to a loan advisor. And it's just a matter of getting in there, setting up a couple of templates and playing with it. And it makes a big difference. Now, what really for us, and we can continue this series if this is what you guys want, because I've carved this time out just to show you guys how to use the technology that we have available. Y'all tell me how you want to use that this time. But we email this information to the agent, to the customer. We do a screenshot of the basic screen, and then you can record a video within Mortgage Coach to explain what you did and why. And when they click on the More tab, there's the breakdown of the closing cost. This pretty much matches your My Key. You can even get really fancy and start playing with reinvestment. I'm not going to blow your brains out tonight, or just, that was probably not a good, but I'm not going to blow your mind showing you that right now. But this is how easy it is. And then if I wanted to record a video that goes with it, then I would actually go in here. I can't click it now because I'm using my camera. Do this, and I would just be a little bitty icon at the bottom of the screen explaining what I did, why I did it, and validate to them that I heard what they were saying and I understand what their dreams, goals, and budget were. And you send that to the customer, you CC the agent, and the agent thinks that you are the bomb. I will tell you, I literally had this conversation with someone. I got 2 minutes, so I'm going to tell you this real quick. I had an agent call. The agent was referred to me by a loan officer in the Mortgage Coach community on the East Coast. The agent's moving to this area and going to rebuild her business because her husband's been transferred. She specifically said she was looking for a loan officer that knew and understood Mortgage Coach, because after being exposed to what her clients get when they're working with a loan officer that gets and understands Mortgage Coach, she will never not work with a loan officer that uses Mortgage Coach. It's a game changer for all of you guys, and it really totally shifts your business to another level. So if you guys are on board, you need to let Texas admin, shoot them an email and say, yes, teach us more about Mortgage Coach. And Sabrina's a lot better at breaking step by step down, and she's offered to help do some training on breaking it down. She's also really good at share screen recording and showing you exactly what she does and how she does it. And I'll do some scenarios too for you guys. So if that's what you guys want, I think that it's super cool for all of us to be all on the same page, doing the same thing, so people get the same level of service regardless of what guild loan officer they use in the state of Texas or Louisiana or Oklahoma or wherever we are. Cool?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so Richard, back to you. You were in charge of a fun, creative way for us to tell regional ops how awesome we think they are. You guys don't forget post-closing. You guys just gave a bunch of work for post-closing to do for the next month or so. So they need some loving too. And then Kelly, y'all, we just have so many people behind the scene that makes us superstars. So we need to thank them all. So you're in charge.
I'm all in, Richard.
I'm all in. You send us a bill. We'll get it done.
All right.
All right. You guys have a wonderful 4th of July.
All right. Thank you, Michelle. Hope.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.